Hello, students! Today, we're going to explore one of nature's most beautiful spectacles, the rainbow. It's a key topic from your chapter, The Human Eye and the Colorful World, and we're going to understand exactly how this amazing arc of color is formed in the sky.
Just look at that. So beautiful, isn't it? I'm sure all of you have seen a rainbow after some rain, when the sun suddenly appears. But have you ever stopped and wondered, what is the science behind it? I mean, how can simple sunlight and a few tiny raindrops create such a perfect spectrum of colors? Well, in this explainer, we are going to find out.
So, here is our plan. First, we'll talk about when exactly you can see a rainbow. Then we'll see how raindrops become nature's tiny prisms. After that, we'll zoom into a single raindrop to understand the 3 key steps that happen inside. Then we'll see how that creates the arc of colors. And finally, we will have a quick recap and a very important exam tip for you.
Okay, so first things first. When and where should we look for a rainbow? You see, it doesn't just appear anytime. The conditions in the sky have to be just right. Let's take a look at what those conditions are. Now, this is the most important rule, okay? Please remember this. A rainbow is always formed in a direction opposite to that of the sun. So what does this mean? It means for you to see a rainbow, the sun must be behind you and the rain must be falling in front of you. Your position is key. You have to be standing between the sun and the rain. This specific alignment is absolutely crucial.
All right, so we have the right conditions. The sun is behind us and it's raining in front. But what is actually creating the colors? Well, the real magic lies in the millions of tiny water droplets that are suspended in the air. Each and every one of these little droplets plays a very important role. It acts just like a tiny glass prism.
And this slide shows that comparison perfectly. On the left, you see something you've seen in your science lab, right? A glass prism, splitting white light into its spectrum of colors. And on the right, a single raindrop doing the exact same thing with sunlight. So this is the main analogy to remember. A raindrop is like a tiny prism. And this process, the splitting of white light into its component colors, has a scientific name. It is called dispersion. This is the fundamental process that is responsible for all the different colors that we see in a rainbow.
So, we've established that a raindrop acts like a prism and causes dispersion. But what exactly happens when a ray of sunlight hits one of these tiny drops? Let's trace this journey inside the raindrop, which we can break down into 3 distinct steps.
So, it's a 3-part journey. First, as light enters the drop, we have refraction and dispersion. Second, when it hits the back of the raindrop, something called internal reflection takes place. And third, as the light leaves the drop, it refracts again. Let's break down each of these steps now.
Okay, let's focus on step 1 at point A in the diagram. When sunlight enters the raindrop, it's moving from a rarer medium, air, to a denser medium, water, so it bends. This bending is called refraction. At the very same moment, the white light also splits into its 7 colors, and this, of course, is dispersion. So both refraction and dispersion happen together as soon as light enters the drop.
Now for step 2. Look at point B. After splitting, the colored light rays travel to the back of the raindrop. You might think they would just pass out of the drop, but they don't. Instead, they bounce off the inner surface, just like a mirror. This crucial step is known as internal reflection because the reflection is happening inside the drop.
And finally, step 3, at point C. After bouncing off the back, the light travels to the front of the drop to exit. Now, as it passes from water back into the air, it bends one last time. This is another refraction. And it's this light, after all this bending and splitting, that travels out and towards your eye.
So now we understand what happens inside one single raindrop. But a rainbow isn't made from just one drop, is it? It's made from millions. So how do all these drops together create that giant, beautiful arc? And why is red always on the top and violet always at the bottom? The answer lies in a very important principle from your textbook. It's about how much each color of light bends, and the rule is red light bends the least, while violet light bends the most. This small difference in the bending angle of each color is the entire secret behind the rainbow's structure. So because each color comes out of the raindrop at a slightly different angle, your eye actually sees different colors coming from different raindrops. The red light that reaches your eye is coming from raindrops that are higher in the sky. The violet light, which bends the most, comes from raindrops that are lower down. And all the other colors, orange, yellow, green, they all come from drops that are in between. Together, all these colors from millions of drops form that perfect arc of color.
Okay, that was quite a bit of science, so let's do a quick recap of the entire process to make sure we remember it all. This will be very helpful for your revision.
So let's remember the 3 key things. 1. Sunlight enters the water droplet, and it undergoes both refraction and dispersion. 2. The light is then reflected off the back of the droplet. This is internal reflection. And 3. The light exits the droplet on its way to your eye, undergoing refraction one more time.
So, you understand the concept now, which is fantastic. But when it's time to write this answer in your board exam, what is the one thing you absolutely must do to make sure you get full marks?
The answer is the diagram. Always, always, please include a neat and well-labeled diagram showing the path of light through the raindrop. Make sure you clearly mark the points of refraction, dispersion, and internal reflection. A good diagram instantly shows the examiner that you understand the process completely, so please practice it well. That's all for this explainer. Happy learning!